Welcome to New Realities. My name is Alan Steinfeld, and on this program I explore all aspects of the human being, how we can achieve a potential that most people don't realize lies in each one of us. So tonight's program addresses the potentials of the body, mind, spirit, possible ways to activate those inner resources to a greater depth. So I want to introduce tonight's guests who all work together in a particular program, and we'll talk about that program. This is Laura Lacharowitz, and she is you were a coach.
I'm a fitness specialist.
A fitness specialist. And of course, if people have been watching New Realities, they know Lori Gregg and her penis enlargement program. They did call her the penis lady, but we're not calling her that tonight. No, she is a neuro-linguistic program, but she works with the subconscious.
Right.
As what would you call it?
I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, so I get you in touch with your inner thoughts.
Thanks, and we'll get more into this.
Okay.
And Jess Galata.
Mm-hmm.
And you are really a life coach.
Mm-hmm.
So what's interesting is that these three women work together with groups of not just women, but men and women, but they work on them from a holistic point of view. So let's talk about how you approach different aspects of the total person. So we'll start with you, Laura.
Sure. Well, we have a program. It's a weight loss program. It's actually called Empowerment Exercise Exchange.
Right.
And I am the exercise component of that. Lori is the empowerment portion of that, and Jessica is the exchange portion of that. And one of the things that I've realized being a fitness trainer for years is that our bodies are under a lot of stress daily. And our bodies are stressed by a lot of the foods we eat because there's chemicals in the foods that we eat these days, pesticides, hormones, but also we've got emotional stress that we're dealing with every day because we're a technological society. A lot of our emotions don't get expressed. We're often on the computer and, not actually speaking in a person-to-person dialogue.
Right.
So we don't have an outlet for emotional expression. Another thing that stresses us is just sitting all day. We are creatures who really are designed for movement. We're not hunting and gathering our foods anymore.
Right.
And so
I am, but
you are.
I'm out there hunting and gathering. But no, I know what you're saying. So because we've been this, really just stationary being, we've lost contact with our bodies, and we've taken on more stress, and we haven't been able to be as healthy and as active and vital
Absolutely.
as we can.
And what actually happens is because we're not moving and because we have all these other stresses, it affects our energetic system. So I think a lot of us, that are familiar with the show are familiar with Chinese acupuncture.
I actually am an acupuncturist.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, I studied acupuncture for 3 or 4 years. I have a master's in Oriental medicine. I do
Fabulous.
acupuncture around the city for people who are interested. So what about acupuncture?
Well, what's interesting is that through movement, you can actually stimulate energy moving through the meridian systems. And so that's one of the things I do with my exercise programs. I actually activate and work particular muscles associated with the meridian system. So as you're exercising, you're actually energizing your body.
Your internal organs and the mind.
Absolutely.
And you're getting the more flow of chi in your body.
Absolutely.
But what I liked of what I was talking to you earlier, you were saying that it's environmental elements that stress our bodies.
Absolutely.
The low-level frequencies that we're not even aware of.
Right.
And then we can also become like switched in the brain or unswitched. We can be disconnected from our left and right brain. So you're more than just a fitness coach. You're a whole energy awareness coach.
I guess I'm an energy, exercise, and lifestyle awareness coach, really.
But just talk a little bit about, and then we'll get to everyone else, how people can have this switched component in their brain where they're not thinking clearly because a part of their left and right brain has been confused.
Sure. Well, one of the things that can often happen to us, energy is supposed to be able to cross between the right and left side, as you're saying, and often even just from sitting all day but carrying a bag on one shoulder. When we walk with one foot forward and the opposite arm swinging.
Right.
So we're moving in crosses, or we should be. When we carry a bag on one shoulder, that actually inhibits our movement between and motion, the crossing motion between the right and the left side. So that alone can actually move us into a homolateral state where energy is not crossing between the right and the left sides of the body.
And then what happens to the thinking when people have this, like, unilateral?
Well, it becomes slightly scrambled. One of the ways when the energy is not crossing between the right and the left side that this can manifest is that you may read a sentence a few times and not quite gain the meaning of it as quickly as you would.
That's what the problem is. Okay.
I think we've all had that experience, right?
Yeah. So, okay, so you help get people focused, and you also work exercise with them. You give them an exercise program. And the energy part also is, I mean, you did talk.
Well, the energy part is actually incorporated into the exercise. So what I start out with is a cardiovascular warm-up that actually has a lot of crossing movements. So you are then getting energy crossing between the right and the left side. We also do, we activate and actually contract the muscles that are associated with particular meridians. So again, we're energizing the entire meridian system and the organ system related to that as we're moving.
I see. So, okay, and then we'll move to Lori. So you work with that with the person, and then Lori sees them and sees what the unconscious patterns are, right? And you reprogram that way. So tell us what you do.
I'm the empowerment section.
Right.
And the funny thing is, how can we be empowered when we don't even know what's driving us? What is driving you? And it's funny, of course our conscious thoughts drive us, but what about those subconscious thoughts? And if you could hand me the pendulum there.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. And Alan, I think you have one.
I have one, yes. I have a little pendulum.
Just to show you the subconscious thoughts, what does it do? So I want Alan to do it too, so you don't think I'm cheating. Okay.
No,
so
I
you
love
hold
the
it.
pendulum.
You hold it like this.
Yes.
You make sure it's fairly still.
Yes, gotcha.
Now we're just going to think about it moving side to side. You keep your hands still, your arms still, and you just imagine it, think about it, visualize it going left to right, left to right. You can see Alan's is moving too.
This is our subconscious mind directing the movement of the pendulum, as you can see.
But what is really going on, and let's make sure they don't think I'm cheating, think about it going around and around. If you're watching and you have a necklace or anything like this, you can do it with us. Around
I do this all day long, I have to tell you. Where should I go? What should I do? Should I go this way? Should I go that way?
But what's going on? Your brain is saying around and around or whatever. Now look at his.
I know.
Okay. The thing is, your brain is saying whatever direction. The teeny nerve endings in your fingers are going, okay, whatever you say. Now, there's the trick here. Because your brain is going, oh, I feel tired. Oh, my back end's fat. Oh, and you know what? Your body's going, okay, whatever you say.
But it's also what we don't say also. So
yes.
You say, should I go out with this person? You ask, is this a yes or no? So your subconscious can tell you what your conscious mind doesn't want to acknowledge.
Exactly.
And sometimes your conscious mind can override it, so it's not 100%.
Yes, that's exactly. But the thing is, the subconscious, sometimes we don't even realize we're going, oh, I'm so tired, because we're really just upset or mad about something else and we feel drained.
So how do you work with this in connection with coaching women in the whole program? What's the connection?
Okay, well, with Lara, we do the energy. I know with me, I'm not always balanced. She gives me a few exercises so I can be balanced, sturdy, and think straight.
Okay.
And the most obvious place where this shows up in Lori's life is when she's trying to do aerobics. You always talk about doing stepping and going to stepping class, and she said, I can never do it. She's always confused, etc. After one session with Lara, when she goes into the gym, if she remembers to do her energy exercises beforehand, go ahead, you can say it. I don't want to talk for you.
No, it's true, though. I stay with the class. I can stay coordinated just after doing like 60 seconds of the exercise. So we get the exercise part, the energy part. Then we get the subconscious, what's really going on to keep you on your diet, on your exercise program, or whatever area you're working on.
Not keep you on it, right.
Or not, what's the block, or what's throwing you off. Exactly.
So what do you do when, but no, we'll get to that, but then how do you, let's say there is something blocking someone to do exercise, how do you work with them?
The first thing is to discover it. And that's what most of us don't even know.
Well, if you put them on an exercise program and they say, yeah, I'm going to do it, and they wake up the next day and they're not doing it, there's obviously a block, right?
You know what the major block is? Whether you're doing breast enlargement, penis enlargement, making your bottom bigger, your weight smaller, The major block is dating, love life, sex life.
What do you mean?
And I know everybody's like, what? The thing is, as soon as I lose the weight, as soon as I'm more confident with my body, then I'll date. Then I'll be more sexually, active with my mate. But then what's going on back here? Usually it's like, I'm going to be rejected, I'm going to be hurt, they're going to leave me.
So you're saying women don't want to lose weight because of fear of rejection?
That is part of it.
Men
yes.
have more of a fear of rejection.
No, well, it's equal. I tell you, it's equal. It is definitely equal.
It is? Okay.
That's the only thing we're equal with.
That's really nice to know. I mean,
we're not equal with anything else, but that one is.
It is?
But that's such a subconscious thing. We don't stick to our program.
But no, I don't believe that, because I don't believe that's why people don't do X. I mean, maybe that's part of it, but I think
part of it.
I think people are lazy. I think that's why they're not doing their exercise.
But what makes you lazy? Why would... Go ahead.
I just have to talk about, one of the reasons we're working together is because we've all tried each other's programs. And what's very interesting, when I was previewing Lori's Thinnage tapes, I realized something really profound that I was doing in the gym. Here I'm a trainer, and I got incredibly busy over the last 3 years, and I actually was about 20 pounds overweight.
Okay.
I had not been working out. So here's a person, this is my life, this is what I teach people, and I wasn't doing it. Well, why wasn't I doing it?
Yes, why weren't?
And what was interesting is that when I started listening to her tapes, I realized that when I was looking in the mirror at the gym doing exercises, because there's mirrors all around you at the gym.
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at myself going, oh, well, that needs to be more this needs to be more this looks terrible. The entire time I'm at the gym, I'm beating myself up emotionally and making myself wrong for everything that I am. And so after listening to Lori's tapes, the tape that was playing in my head as I'm looking at myself in the mirror was completely different. It was now an empowering conversation. It was the same body. I mean, this is like days difference.
What was the conversation after seeing Lori?
The new conversation was, wow, that curve looks really nice. Wow, I've been working on that and I'm really seeing a difference. It was a much more empowered, positive conversation. And I have to tell you, I had actually been on a weight loss program that I put myself on using my knowledge of weight training since the summertime. I went from a size 8 to a size 6 by November.
I don't know what that means, but I guess that's smaller.
It's two sizes.
Yeah, so I don't know what a size is, but that's okay.
So in December, I started listening to her tapes. By the third week in December, I was down to a 4 and fitting into my 2s.
What are you now? Just
this
curious.
is a 2 now.
That's a 2. I love the 2s.
This is a 2. But it just left me more quickly. It was unbelievable.
So you went from an 8 to a 2.
An 8 to a 2, but from a 6 to a 2 in about a month.
Really? Wow. So you took that exercise, and then we have Jess, who holds people accountable, as she says. So they do the exercise, they do the unconscious, and then they talk to you and say, what?
We work with choice. It's about, the thing is, the three of us working together and with a group of women, every single woman is going to have a different reason for not exercising, for not eating, not doing. We all know how to lose weight. We eat less and we exercise, but we don't do it. So while we're addressing those two components, I work individually with people to say, well, why didn't you do? What's happening that's holding you back from doing what you say you want to do? And as with most life coaches, when we're talking about really what someone wants, who they want to be, who they are, their higher self, what they value, what they want to accomplish, and within that context and conversation, reminding them and representing them to that goal, so then they can examine every decision that they make. So first of all, seeing the choices. Where is the choice? We were having a conversation earlier about how when you work with a life coach, when you're going around in your daily life, sometimes you're not even aware of the choices that you make and the impact that they have on you.
Right.
And the process of life coaching is really taking a step back and seeing what you're doing, what choice has impact on your life and the impact for the future. So we're constantly representing the people to what they want to do.
So what's the difference between you and Lori's work? Because she's unconscious, you're conscious, but it's also
an example of it is, for example, say when I was younger, I didn't realize that I gained weight because when my dad and I were sitting at the table, I kept eating as much as he did, because I wanted to spend more time with him. Because the only time that we had time together was at dinner.
But that's unconscious.
That's unconscious.
Right.
I wouldn't, as in a life coaching session, I wouldn't be talking about that, right? I would be talking about, well, what happens in your daily life? Like, what did you do today? And we were talking about, what do you want to do this week? Like, and we would go through, we do certain exercises. Part of the program that we're doing is we do a life coaching session with each participant on a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
A one-on-one life coaching.
A one-on-one. So they have that individual component. And there's the accountability piece where it's dual. It's individually with me, but it's also the group, because they're going through this 8-week process as a group.
So you do a program, 8-week process for a group of women mostly. Like, how many women would be in the group?
8 to 20.
8 to 20, and then you work with them. The three of you work with one woman at a time, or just the group?
It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Okay, so then would you confer among yourselves about particular women and say, this is what she needs? Like,
yes.
So it's a really holistic program.
Yeah.
This is what
It goes about it with
essentially,
every aspect.
Yeah. We together as a team have learned so much from each other. I am great at what I do. I've had a wonderful career, but the one thing stopping me from really being fulfilled in my life is my weight. And I have a fitness trainer and I have a hypnotherapist talking about these things constantly, going, oh, I never thought about that before. Oh, I never thought about that. The same thing for Lara. She says, she's a fitness trainer, she's not doing it herself. So I'm like, you're a fitness trainer and you're not doing this on yourself. Why is that? So I can hold her.
And she would tell you why, as opposed to the subconscious reason why, or you would work with her too.
Well, we all work with each other.
Maybe you don't even need to work with any women, just each other, right?
Well, the reason we're doing this is because we understand how powerful it is, and we want other people to benefit from this.
Right.
We all have had weight issues, and we know that this is, for myself and for many of my friends, it's an issue that, one, it's lifelong. You think about what are you going to do when you have babies? And the United States, we have an obesity rate of, I think, more than 60%, which it's an epidemic in our culture. So if we're, as a professional, one of the things that I say is, what do I really want to contribute to the world? And we often have these conversations, and we're focusing on this area because there's, one, a need in our society, but two, we have a program that really has results, because we're not just saying, do A, B, and C, leaving you alone, you're on your own. We're saying, we understand this, we've experienced it ourselves, we've benefited from each other's experiences and expertise, and we really want to offer this to other women.
No, it's great, and I'm just trying to relate because I've never been an overweight woman, but I know there's stuff that you can offer everyone, so let's just open it up and see, like, if people want to change other aspects of their lives, how would you work with them energetically?
Sure.
For instance, like, how would you work with me energetically to get me, like, energetically whole? Or let's do an example. Let's show our friends.
Sure. Would you like more energy?
Yeah, I wake up tired, and I'd love more energy.
Okay, great. So, just out of curiosity, on a daily basis, if you had to rate your energy on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, 10 being like really energized and ready to get up.
5.
You're about a 5, 6.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes I'm a 10, sometimes I'm a 2.
Okay, so right now you're about 5 or 6, so this is great. So what I'd like to do is just do a muscle test on you.
Muscle testing.
And then I'm going to give you a few things to hold that are actually stressors for most people.
And then people will see actually what's in their environment that does stress them. Okay. Ready.
So let me just test your arm to see if we've got a good testable arm. Okay, so ready and push up for me? Good, so that's nice and strong. I really like that. Good, just relax for a moment. And let's just see here. I have a cell phone here. Now, cell phones emit electromagnetic frequencies. I just want to make sure it's on. Hold it with that other arm. And give me this arm, because I need something to test you. Let's see just how you test here.
Can we put the wide shot on there, please?
Good. Okay. Go ahead and push up for me.
I just want to show people. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and push up for me.
The cell phone's on. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, push up for me. Oh, my goodness.
Really?
Let me do that.
No, I know. It was strong a second ago.
I want you to push as hard as you can.
Okay, no, it was.
Okay, push. Yeah, you're definitely.
I know. Let's do it without there, just so we can show.
So let's do it without it. Ready? Push up for me.
And you're pushing the same.
Yes.
So you're saying cell phones make us energetically weak.
Yes, but I'm actually going to show you how you can strengthen your own energy so that you can counteract the stress.
Oh, okay, that's good.
But now we're going to take something that should be healthy for us. Okay, these are strawberries, and these are actually not organic.
Okay.
So they are probably sprayed with pesticides. Okay, so why don't you take that in that arm? Let's see if that makes you weak or strong. Okay, push up for me as hard as you can. Actually, I have to say you're okay with this. Push up for me. You're fine with those. Do you eat strawberries normally?
No.
You don't.
Maybe I have
You might be. Your body may be able to handle pesticides.
I hope not. But no,
Okay.
I mean, that's okay.
When I put this on Lori
Okay,
earlier.
put it on. Really, do it on Lori right now.
Let's see. Let me give you.
Okay.
Let me see if she's strong. Push up. Okay,
Okay.
good. So let's try the strawberries on you.
You sure it's not? I mean, isn't psychological some of the kinesiology?
You would
Push
think,
up
but
for
I
me.
tell you,
Oh my God, she's. I mean, it's. Why don't you do it?
I
Because
know.
no,
I
you
do
can
it.
test me and see. Okay, this is
hold
Let me
it.
take it away so you can feel the
Okay.
difference.
I've done kinesiology. Okay, hold it. Okay, yeah, she's good.
Now you grab the strawberries.
Okay, good. Yeah.
It's really obvious.
So there are. I mean, we don't have to spend the whole time in it because there's obviously things that stress our bodies and make us weaker.
Yes.
So now tell us the
I
thing.
want to do one other thing because you mentioned emotions earlier.
Yeah, but you're also going to show us how to resist
I'm
it.
gonna do it in 1 second,
Okay. I'm excited.
So here's the deal. Give me
Just
your
a
arm. Push up for me. Now I want you to think of the thing that's stressing you the most. You don't have to tell us what it is.
Okay.
You got it?
I got
Push
it.
up. Oh. Really resist. Come on.
No, I was
Push
just
up.
thinking.
Think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely makes you weak. Okay, cool. So
Okay.
I'm going to throw you 3 exercises.
You're going to give me 3 exercises
Yes.
right now.
Okay, so
great.
what I'd like you to do is take your fingers together like so. Okay,
so
and I want
here,
you to
show
put
a close-up.
under, yep, like this. Okay.
You got this?
Now you're going to find your clavicle. Go
Yeah.
right underneath your clavicle. Okay, and you're going to tap that point right under. Bring them in a little bit closer to your next to your sternum.
Is this the EFT?
This is
muscle?
actually, well, emotional freedom technique uses this point.
Yeah.
This is actually K27. All this work comes from
This
a
is
woman by
called
the name
kidney 27,
of Kidney 27.
which is at the end of the kidney meridian.
Absolutely. Yes, you're my acupuncturist.
I
So
know.
you can know all the points.
And she says what?
This woman, Donna Eden, okay,
Uh-huh.
she's written a book called Energy Medicine, and this is one of her exercises, and I'm learning her technique. So this is actually stimulating energy movement through your kidney meridian, and also helping to connect this meridian up to all the other meridians.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why did she use the kidney meridian? You don't know.
This seems to be a connector of most of the meridians. Also helps to get energy moving from the top and bottom of the body.
Also activates the thymus.
Well, the next one we're going to actually tap is the thymus. Go down a little bit lower, and so now we're going to get, this is called the thymus thump. Okay, and this actually helps with immune functioning.
And you do this every morning. Some people would recommend
You
doing
could do this all
every
day
morning.
long. You know what I do?
What?
Every time I use the ladies' room, I do this.
Every time you use the ladies' room?
Absolutely.
Do you do it while you're using the ladies' room?
Sometimes, but I usually do it right before I leave the stall.
Because that would be a little strange.
Next thing
Why
we're going
do
to do
you
is
do
tap
that in
the
the
spleen.
ladies' room?
Because I figure it's a good place to actually remember to do this, and then I get a little energy boost when I leave. It's
Do I
fantastic.
have to go to the ladies' room to do it?
No. Now we're actually going to tap right at these are spleen points. These are spleen points.
Okay, this is the end of the spleen meridian, spleen 21.
Absolutely. I love that we have an acupuncturist present. That's fantastic. So just tapping these points is going to actually stimulate energy flow through all these meridians. Okay, fabulous.
Okay.
This is wonderful. So now we're going to recheck the cell phone.
Okay.
So why don't you take...
I'm already energized just by doing that.
Okay, so actually, tell me what your energy level is now. You were a 5 or 6.
Now I'm about 7.
You actually, and I can see it, you look a little different.
Actually, I feel a little more awake.
So now, wouldn't you want to do that every time you go to the little boy's room?
Try not to go to the little But okay. Yeah, I mean, every time
Another great place I really do this is planes.
Planes.
And when I get off of planes,
Uh-huh.
okay, because just having gone through all those barometric pressure changes really can scramble your energies.
Are you doing it the whole time you're on the plane?
Not the whole time. Again,
do
when
it
I go to the
now.
restroom. Sometimes I just rub these points. You can also rub these points if you're in a place where
So
you
you're
can't.
saying this energetically makes us strong?
Absolutely. Here, you were weak on this before.
I
Let me make
was.
sure
I
it's
was
on.
not. Okay, cell phone again. I'm going to hold
ready?
it.
Push up for me. Now you're really solid.
Really?
Yeah. So what we basically did you
does.
do this? Tap your spleen points for
Tap
me.
You know what? I didn't do the exercises with you guys.
Tap your spleen
just
points
tap
a
your
little
spleens,
bit.
and we're going to use the strawberries on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they.
I do this as much as I can. Honestly, the more you do it, and the great thing about doing all these exercises is that they're actually cumulative.
Mm-hmm.
The more you do it, so the more time you put into it, the greater resistance you build up against stress. In fact, I had the girls test these strawberries on me.
Yes.
When I tested these on me myself a couple months ago, I went completely weak. When they tested them on me today, I was strong, and I couldn't believe it.
Okay. Okay.
Hold that, please.
Okay, go ahead.
There we go.
Push fingers out, please, and push up for me. Now I can't believe this.
Yeah.
So, but
Nice job, Lori. Doing your exercise.
so wait, you're saying this energetically rebalances us gives us less stress. I mean, doing this exercise
It will
will
help our bodies adapt to stress.
so we won't be it won't our immune systems won't suffer.
Absolutely.
And you're
We're
more
actually
resistant.
building a resistance to stress by doing this. So, before your body is stressed, you're actually able to build up your resistance to that stress.
Wow, that's good. So you take go ahead.
Yep, I
We'll
want to do
finish
the
up.
emotional thing.
Oh,
so
the
remember
emotional
how
thing.
you went weak? Can you
Yes,
Okay, so I
remember
want
that.
you to actually think about that
Okay,
subject. Now
okay.
look at me. We're actually going to trace the triple warmer meridian
Okay.
backwards.
Why the triple warmer
Triple
meridian?
warmer is your fight or flight meridian, as you know. Now, it is the meridian that actually calls your body into action to fight, any stress that may be upon
Really?
you. Okay?
So let's tap the triple warmer meridian.
So we're not going to tap it, though. We're going to trace it backwards. We're going to sedate it.
Okay.
We're basically, while you're thinking about this stress,
Okay.
what happens is, what we're designed for is the jungle, right?
Okay.
So normally when you'd be stressed, you'd either want to fight or flight.
Right.
Now
right,
we're
right,
telling your
right.
body, let's do it while we talk. So you're
Yes.
going to go from your eyebrow over your ear,
over my ear.
off the back side of your arm, and off your ring finger.
That's the
You
triple.
do the opposite.
Yeah, use the opposite arm. Let's try it
Yeah.
again. So as we're doing
okay.
this, you're actually, use the opposite arm on that side. So, yeah, very good. So go
That.
from your eyebrow, over your ear,
From the corner of my eyebrow
over your ear, off the back of your arm and shoulder, off the ring finger. Do this side again. So as we're doing this, we're actually telling your body, wow, even though there's this stressor that is really bothering me and could be wigging my body out, I am not going to die. There's no lion chasing me.
So we overcome this fight or flight mechanism in our body.
Absolutely. We basically tell our bodies that even though we're stressed, we're actually okay.
We tell our
Okay.
bodies that by tracing the triple warmer meridian.
Right. Now, think about that stress again for me. Give me your arm. Okay, you got it? Push up. And what's really incredible is that when I see people, I started all of this work because I started working with people that were injured in some way, shape, or form. They had chronic back pain, or I work with a lot of MS patients as well. And so what would happen is people would come to me, and if a person is emotionally stressed, it's their system is already stressed. I don't want to place more mechanical stress in the form of exercise on their systems. So I de-stress them first.
I see. There's actually a meridian massage where you start with the lung 1 point and you trace all the meridians, and you know that one? That just
One of the things we
energizes the
can
whole
do.
body. Who's your teacher in that?
Donna Eden.
And she developed this?
She developed this technique, and what I'm doing is I'm taking her technique, pieces of her technique, and incorporating it into exercise. So I do a whole cardio routine prior to my resistance workouts that is completely crossing and tapping while touching side to side. So it's a fun way to get your heart rate up, but also to energize your system and prepare it for exercise.
So people would start with you, and then they would go to Lori, let's say. So you give them an exercise program. You energize, you de-stress them. Then someone would go to Lori, and what would you do with them?
Then we just go inside. So she does the external part. I do the internal part.
And what does that mean?
The internal part is to go inside and see what is blocking you, what is keeping your weight on. So we hold on to our weight or whatever our issue is.
What would that be? Give me for instance.
And just like Jessica said, she used to enjoy eating with her dad. That was a tension with her dad. So now, what you do with one thing is what you do with everything. So she got the attention from her dad. I would venture to say she would eat with her fiance, her close friend, to keep the conversation going. That would be almost a habit she would do.
So someone like that would use food as a company keeper.
A company keeper.
And so
then,
you would do what for them? Because that works for them as far as the company,
no, but
not
the
as far
funny
as the
thing,
weight.
all you have to do is discover it. You don't need 10 years of therapy to figure it out. It's like, that's it.
So once she would discover that, she would
and
say...
then then the next day she would be with her fiance.
Yes.
And she'd be like, oh wait, we don't need to sit here and eat this pie. We can sit here and drink tea because I'm just doing this out of habit.
Because she knew
she just
what she was doing.
Exactly.
She realized she didn't have to do it again. So
exactly.
How do you access that unconscious part in people?
Well, you just relax somebody. And
that's where the hypnotherapy comes in.
Exactly it.
And she actually has a wonderful 8-week program that... You want to go ahead?
The 8-week program is called Vimage. And
Thimage?
Thimage.
How do you spell that?
Thimage, like the image.
Okay.
Thimage.
Okay.
And the 8-week program, each week you go through something different, a little different exercise to see what happened when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I start having issues with my breast, my penis, my back end, my belly? You go and check that out.
And you regress them to the time where you say, okay, we're going to go back to where the first issue was, and then you say, okay, what was going on?
And that is 1 week.
Okay, that's 1 week.
The one that really triggered me the most, how do you benefit from whatever your problem is? That's huge.
Okay.
Huge.
Why don't we're going to do another program? You have some time, and then I'll just wrap it up with what Jessica does. So, but I want to start with that in the next program, getting into why we do what we do and how to overcome that.
Yeah.
So people uncovered their subconscious, and what do you do?
So just to repeat, we actually have the 8-week program. We have about 3 or 4 times that we meet as a group and they do the weekly exercise. Laura has an 8-minute video or an 8-minute energy exercise video that they do on their own as well, so that when they do the resistance training on their own, they have that energetic base, and then they can do the exercise. And that's it progresses each week. She does the same thing with Thimage, and I work with the women on a weekly basis as well. We have a group call 1 week. I do individual calls with them another week.
And what do you talk about?
Whatever the issue, their specific issue is. That's where the life coaching comes in. It really depends on what happens to them. I mean, some things will be, what we're working on. We're focusing on weight loss from all different angles, so that I can actually have an individual conversation with what it is that's going on with them on a daily basis.
So if they say, I hate myself today, you say?
Well, so where do you think that's coming from?
And they say, I don't know, I just do.
And it really depends on the person, but I would say most likely say, 1, I don't necessarily believe you, and 2, let's go a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Because how do you evade that? I don't know is an evasion, usually.
That's good. So we're going to go a little deeper in the next program that's coming up. But what's the name of your website, and how do people get in touch with you?
It's empowermentexerciseexchange.com.
empowermentexerciseexchange.com. Empowerment exercise. No, exercise. Empowerment.
Empowerment.
You're empowered.
Exercise
Exchange.
And I must be the Wicked Witch of the West. No, I'm kidding. No, empowerment exerciseexchange.com. This is Alan Steinfeld and New Realities, and email me at newrealities@earthlink.net. Check my website, newrealities.com. We're going to have more conversations with Laura, Jess, and Lara.
Lara, Jess, and Laurie.
Lara, Jess, and Laurie. But thank you. Is there an email, or they'll just find it all on your website, right?
All on the website. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. New Realities. Alan Steinfeld saying thank you for tuning in. Okay, good.
Okay, that went over by 4 minutes.
It did? So why don't we